Hello, welcome to the continuation of our class in MS Word. In our previous class, we understood what is MS Word, how to create a new document in MS Word, how to highlight a text, how to type a text in MS Word, and we rounded up with how to set page alignment. Although we stopped at setting page alignment, that is where we are going to base or continue our class today on page alignment. So let's move on with the class. Like I previously said, page alignment is simply the position of your text where you can be typing from, either from the left to right or from the right to left or even from the center. So from the screen here, as you can see, this is where the cursor is blinking, meaning that I'm typing from left to right. And I showed you in our previous class that this one is the left alignment, this one is the center alignment, and while this one is the right alignment. Now, once you choose any of the alignments, your cursor or your text / your document will be positioned in that manner. For example, this whole text I have here, I want to create a heading for this text, and I want to place the heading in the center of the document. How do I do that? I simply come here and choose center. Now once I choose center, my cursor goes to the center and it starts blinking in the middle here. So let me say, for example, I want to give this text a heading. Okay, let me say list of items to buy. Now this is a heading. If you understand, or if as you are seeing from the screen here, this text came from the center and I'm typing it from the center. Now that is because my cursor here or my selection here is based on center alignment. Same thing applies if I choose the right alignment. Let's try that one for the right alignment. Let me change the position to the right alignment. I see that my cursor has gone to the right, showing me that I am now set to type from right to left, which is basically called the right alignment. So if I type, and I told you in the previous class that the right alignment is basically used for when you're typing a formal letter, where you have your letter, your address on the right, while the other address, the recipient address, on the left. That is when you appreciate the left alignment and the right alignment. Now let me type like a letter. Let me say number 25 East Street. Number 25 East Street, Lagos, Nigeria. Yes, there's not a specific address, just for educative purpose. Now this is an address that I wrote or I typed from the left to right using my right alignment. So the same thing applies when you're doing your left alignment. Once you place your cursor there for it and you select the left alignment, you now start typing from left to right. But I just want you to understand different and how to use the alignment. Now I told you in a previous class that I explained to you what justify means. This last one here, justify, and I said it distributes a text around a document. Now this is our full document. Now this text, if you see this text, this document here is not distributed in a full manner. You can see gaps and space. But once I select the align to justify, what it will do that it will justify my text to align to all the parts of the document. For example, look at what I'm trying to talk about. Now this is the text. Please look at what will happen now. Are you seeing it? Now all my tests, and my documents have aligned to be justified, to cover all the spaces that are there. Once I take it back to where it is before, you see how this is how it is before. And once I click on this justification, now it has covered all the tests. This test is basically used for formal typing. So after typing, you justify your typing or your documents for it to look matured and easy, user friendly, or easy in the eye to look. So that is it for justification. By now you should have known from my previous class, you should understand how to do highlighting and some other things. So if you have not done the practice, try and practice, because this class will surely pay you when you're practicing. After learning you practice. Okay, let's continue. Now we want to talk about how to insert and use drop cap in MS Word. Now what do we mean by drop cap? Drop cap is simply when, if you can see in magazines or newspapers, when they want to write a particular test, now the first letter, let me say for this test, now the first letter will appear very big to cover either two of the letters, while the other ones remains the same. That is what's called drop cap. Let me show you for example. Okay, I want to drop cap this one now, T now. How do I do that? Once I select the T, I go to insert, then I choose drop cap. As you can see here, it's called drop cap. And if you can see from the window, it's showing me a preview of how my test will look like. Now once I click on the drop cap, I have different options. Now this option is for none, this option is for drop cap, but the test will be inside the other test. Why this other option is that the test itself will just appear on its own, while this one also is for other drop cap option. But for now, we'll do with these two. The first drop cap and the in margin. Okay, let's go with this one. This is how to apply a drop cap in your document or your type document. As you can see, my first test is T, and I've made it a drop cap. Now it has increased to this size. So that is how to apply drop cap. And also now the next thing we'll talk about is how to insert Naira symbol in MS Word. Now we want to talk about how to insert currency symbols in Microsoft Word. Let me say you've done some basic typing which involves currency manipulation or use of currencies. Now let me say, for example, we want to use our basic currency here in our country, which is Naira, and you want to insert Naira. Maybe you type some amount of money and you want to insert Naira. For example, this 64,000, and I want to insert Naira behind it. How do I do that? With my cursor blinking here, what I did is I still go back to insert. Then when I go back to insert, I choose symbol. Now once I choose symbol, I go to more symbol. Now once I go to more symbol, next thing for me to do is to come back here and choose this font name, Tahuma. Now once I choose this font name, Tahuma, the next thing for me to do, most times it will not be chosen. You just go and come here, click here once. Once you click on it once, you delete, you backspace. We delete this one by clicking on your backspace. Once you click on your backspace, you spell write Tahuma. Once you write Tahuma, then it will enter. Once it's entered, then the next thing for you to do is to scroll down. Start scrolling down to look for Naira sign. It's not too difficult to find. Once you scroll down, you go down, you will surely see it. Let's look for it. It's showing somewhere. Yeah, this is our naira sign. You just click on it once. Once you click on it, then you click on insert. Insert. Once you click on insert, it's already inserted there. Look at it here. So this is how to insert naira sign to figures involving monetary calculations. Let's go back to the next topic that we have. The next topic in line is we also talked about how to insert naira sign. Is how to insert and set an envelope in MS Word. How to insert and set an envelope in MS Word. Okay, let me say for example, I want to add an envelope to this document that I've already typed. How do I do that? I think the simplest way is for me to go to mailing. Once I go to mailing, I'll see envelope. Then I click on envelope. So once I click on the envelope, it's loading. Now once I click on the envelope, now the next thing for me to do is to select add to document. So if I want to type anything here, okay, I select add to document. Now this is the envelope. Now this envelope is contained together with my document. So if you want to attach it after typing your document, you save it and do everything the same at like a particular page. This is how to do it. So you can type whatever you want to type here, like your address and all the rest, while your document will come beneath it. That's simply how to insert an envelope in MS Word. The next thing we'll talk about is how to save insert password when saving page. Okay, let's talk about how to save your document after typing, how to save your document, and also how to encrypt your document with a password. So in case you don't want someone else to access your document, you will now encrypt a password to it. Now let's assume we finish typing this document. I want to save it for a later purpose. You save for a later purpose, or you also save to continue, maybe, or you want to send it through email or anything. Then that is where you save. But it's recommended you save your document as you're typing or after typing. So how do we save this document now? We simply go to file. Once we go to file, we see the option for save. This is option for save. I will click on save. I'll explain to you the difference between save and save as. Now once you click on save, okay, it's already saved. Now the save, for you to use, let me explain to you the difference between save and save as, because I want to use save as now. The difference between save and save as is that save, you use the save when you want to save a document for the very first time. If you're saving a document for the first time, then you use the save. Why if you want to save as like, or you want to save as, you save as based on you want to give a different name to the document, or you want to save this document to a different location. Now I've saved this document previously before, so if I click on save again, it will just resave it. It will not give me option to resave it or save it to another directory. So that's why the need for save as comes. So once I click on save as now, it will not give me that option for me to change a different location that I want to save this document to. Now I want to save this document to my PC, which is my computer, and I want to save it to this document. Okay, once I click on this document now, it will now open a dialog box. Now this box that is open now is where I want to save this document to. Now I talked about that I want to show you how to also save with a password. Okay, now I've saved this document. Now let me assume I want to save this document as this practice 1, and I want to save it to the save type is document. You have other save types here, but the save type here we'll be using is document, because what we are typing, well, Microsoft Word is a document. Now I want to talk about how to encrypt this document with a password. How do I do that? I see this option here, tools. Now you click on this small triangle option here. Once you click on it, you see the general option. Now once you see general option, once you click on it once, you now be given the option to save to open, password to open. Now let's take a password that we can use to open this document. That is when you type the password you want to use to open this document. You repeat the password here. Once you apply the password here, then you click on OK. Once you click on OK, it will now prompt you to reapply the password again. Now what you do is you apply the password again, then you click on OK. Once you click on OK, it will now is encrypted. Then you now click on save. So once this document is saved now, what it does that the next time we want to bring up this document, we have to input a password for us to bring up this document. Let me show you. Let me go back to that document to get it. Okay, this is the document. I've opened it now. Now can you see it has not requested for a password. It has not requested for a password. So let me input that password. Now I've inputted the password and I click on OK. I did it double time, so I will have to type the password double times to open the password. Now look at this. Now I've added the password. And you see that the documents have opened. So without this password, the document cannot be opened. Without this password, the document cannot be opened. Let me take the document to the desktop environment so we can access it easily. It was saved very far from our desktop environment. Now this is the document. I want to open this document now. You see asking me for password like we did before. I'm trying it for the second time so that you get it very well. You click on OK once. You see ask you to enter the password to confirm that you are the one typing the document. Now that is how to encrypt a document. That is how to save a document and also encrypt a document too. Now the next thing we talk about is how to insert tables, equations and symbols in MS Word. Now it is very paramount that most times we deal with tables and we also deal with equations and symbols. Now let's go over to the drawing board to see what we'll do. I open up this document, so I will use it for teaching purpose. Sorry, I've done the encryption already before. Let me open it. Okay, let me try the password again. And now I've tried it before. Okay, this is the document. So I want to insert tables to this document. So when we are talking about tables, we are talking about how to arrange our documents, our tables in columns and rows. Tables are arranged in columns and rows. So I explain tables and rows is placing our data or informations or our type documents in rows and columns. For a simple purpose, I'm going to show you a simple table that we'll be creating. This is a simple table that we'll be creating, that we'll be using for this illustration. Now this is a table with a name, this is a name, and this is what is composed in this table. I will show us in a later on how to add this table save library. Okay, let's go back. Now, how do we insert tables? For the purpose, let me create a new document. Now I want to insert my document, my table in this new document, new page. I simply go to insert. So I go to insert, I go to tables. Now once you come to table, you see a triangular option. It's better off you hover your mouse or your cursor on the tool you want to use to get a little hint on how to use the tool. Now you click on this small rectangle. It will give you different options. Now we have 4 options here. Now we can insert table here directly by selecting the rows and columns automatically. We can also insert table through this pattern, and we can also insert table by drawing the table. Now I'm going to show you the different ways on how to do this. Now, if for example I want to insert a table containing 5 rows and 2 columns. Now, if you can see from the top here, you see 1 times 1. Now, the first one means the number of columns I'm going to produce, while the second one means the number of rows I'm going to also produce. Now, I'm in the first row and first column. Now, once I move my cursor to the right, I'm having 2 columns now and 1 row. I'm having 2 columns and 1 row, and for the record purpose, the row is the horizontal while the column is the vertical. Now once I move my cursor further to the right, I have 3 columns and 1 row. Now I want to make the row to be 2. How do I make the row to be 2? I move my cursor down once. Now I have 3 columns and 2 rows. As you can see from the top, we have 3 times 2, meaning that we have 3 rows and 2 columns. So if you want to produce a document that has 4 rows and 3 columns, what you do is you go over to the rows. Now I have 3 columns and 3 rows. As you go further, I have 3 columns and 4 rows, but I want to produce 3 columns and 5 rows. How do I do that? I move down forward. Now I have 3 columns and 5 rows. That's how to produce that with this first method. And you just click on OK once. Click on your document one, and it will apply. Now, like I was saying, the columns are these straight ones here. These are the columns: column 1, column 2, and column 3. While the rows are this horizontal one. This one is row 1, this other one is row 2, this other one is row 3, and row 4, row 5. So we have 3 columns and 5 rows. That's how to add rows and columns. Now let's go back to our board again. The second method is how to insert tables. Now, once you click on insert tables, it will bring a small dialog box. If you can see that I'm moving it here, to bring this small dialog box. Now this dialog box now will now give us option to type in the rows and column instead of the normal way we are doing it by scrolling. So right now it's giving me 5 columns and 2 rows. Now let me assume I want to create 5 columns and 2 rows. I just click on OK, and it will produce 5 columns and 2 rows. It is added to the other one. Let me delete this one, so we do it from afresh. To delete a table, you click. I will come to that, show you how to delete a table. Come to that to show you how to delete a table. Meanwhile, let's focus on this first. Now I have 5 columns and 2 rows. Let's say we want to produce 7 columns, 7 rows and 3 columns. 7 rows and 3 columns. How do we produce that? We come to insert table. Now I want to produce 7 rows and 3 columns. I come here, I click on on there and delete this one. I click on 7 on my keyboard, while here I select 2. That's how to get 7 rows and 2 columns. I can also move increase or decrease the numbers by clicking on these small triangles here. So if I want to increase it to 4, I can click on this triangle here and it will increase to 4. Then if I want to also reduce it to 2, which was the previous number, I also click here to reduce it to 2. If I want to same thing applies to this other one. So let's click on OK now. Are you seeing it? Now we have 2 columns and 7 rows. Let's add it together. 1, row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, and row 7. So we have produced 2 columns and 7 rows. Now the last one that I'm going to talk about is drawing table. How do we apply drawing of table? Applying drawing of table includes that once you click on the draw table, your cursor will change to this pencil-like object. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I can see it here. So just try and see it change to this pencil-like object. Now I just have to draw my table. Are you seeing the drawing I'm doing? That's what I'm doing. Now it has been drawn. Now if I want to create a demarcation here, I create a demarcation. If I want to form a row, I click here on the beginning of the line and drag it further and create a row. So that is how to draw a table. So this method will help you to create an empty table that we also follow the rows and column method instead of creating lines through at the table. So those are the different ways to add tables to your document. Now the last method I'm going to talk about is let me delete these ones. Let me delete these other ones. Okay. The last one I want to talk about is inserting table with Excel sheet. Although we've not talked about Excel, that we'll do in our later class. If you, after getting familiarized with the Word environment, you move over to the next class, which is Microsoft Excel. That is a spreadsheet that is also used for doing mathematical calculations, and also producing equations and manual codings. But for now, let's just focus on how we can also input an Excel spreadsheet from Microsoft Word. The easiest way to do that is through your table. Also, once you come to your table and click on this small red triangle here, the next thing you come to Excel spreadsheet. It will now move you to the Excel spreadsheet environment. This is how it looks like when you open it. So this movement, now you can now type your documents here. If you want to input documents, you can do that here. If you are familiarized with the Excel spreadsheet, you should understand what I'm talking about. But for now, I just want to give you an insight that you can also do that from here. So that is basically it. So having covered this on how to insert tables and rows, let me delete this. Having covered on how to insert tables and rows, now let's go back to the practical field that I talked about we need to do. Now this is the practical work that we need to familiarize ourselves with. Now this an Excel sheet, a table that was created with the same method I've showed you on how to insert different tables. Now in this table we have how many rows and how many columns. That's the first thing you calculate. Now we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. We have 7 columns. Now let's calculate for the rows. We have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, row 6, row 7. So basically we have 7 columns and 7 rows. So we'll now go over to our Excel to produce that, so we can use it to do our calculation. Okay, like I click. So you can use any method you want to use, either by this first method, or by this one, or by this one, or even by this one. So the method, whichever method you want to use, you can use. So but I want to use this one for a start. So I click on, I select 7 rows and 7 columns. Now if you're seeing it, I have 7 rows and 7 columns. But for most beginners, it's preferable you use this insert. Now once you click on this insert, it will give you options, which is very easy for you, that you can just screw up here. You have 7 columns, and you screw up here too, and you have 7 rows too. The next thing, just click on OK, and you have your table added to your document. So what we'll do for time purpose, I will have to copy this to the document one by one, but you on your own, you try it one by one, because it will also help you to familiarize yourself on how to type. So we'll continue this program in the next video. See you there.